Duke Luca Abel tore down the old palace in Karnaca and built himself a new one, a monument to his ego. Whether he knows it's coming or not, I'm here to exact vengeance for everything he's done to me, my family, and the place of my birth. I'm going to show him what happens to those who threaten the Empress. After tonight, the Duke will either be dead or deposed, depending on how this plays out. I've got to get inside, take care of the Duke, and find a way to steal Delilah's soul.
This is my last night. Soon, I'll dissolve into the great nothing.
You deserve peace, my love.
I've stayed too long. Find Delilah's spirit. Trap her with this cage of dead flesh. Set me free.
I don't understand.
You will, very soon.
Long for someone to go after the Duke. Another aristocratic boss, living in a palace and sucking the marrow out of the same people who built it.
He could always count on the backing of Dunwall's finances and navy. Maybe without that, he would have developed a healthy respect for the people of Serkonos. Fear of the executioner's block has been a fine motivator for many a ruler.
I guess Duke Abel felt all right tearing down the old palace. I have fond memories of that place. As much as I hate to say it, Karnaca needs a man like Byrne. Paolo had ambitions, all fallen to pieces now.
Now we're going after the one who started it all. The Duke himself. I forgot the thrill of it. Planning drop-off points, picking the approach. Thinking about the best ways to kill somebody who lives behind high walls. But with the excitement, there's a black echo that comes back to me for what I did at Dunwall Tower. If anyone deserves killing, though, it's Duke Luca Abel. I've loved a number of women, and even a couple of men. But I've never loved anyone like my Deirdre. After I left home, those first years on the streets, she's all that kept me from the bottom of the river. I could sleep on a pile of garbage under a leaky awning as long as she was there with me. Sharing a tin of potted meat or a bottle of brandy that we nicked during the day. The Duke and his little brother came through Dunwall. And Deirdre and I got in their way as they stepped out of their fancy coach. The Duke goaded his brother, calling us wharf roaches. And it was the brother who swung the stick that killed her. Splitting her skull, there were wooden gazelles on top of the coach. And I snapped one off and drove it into his eye, as deep as it would go. Deirdre was already gone. Dead as a doornail. Lying in the muck, staring up at the gray Dunwall sky. On the run after that. I was hunted by the City Watch and even members of the Grand Guard up from Zirconos. People looked at me like I was cursed, spitting whenever I got close. Everyone knew I'd bring trouble. Even the gangs. The Duke's brother has been dead for a long time. But now was my chance to get back at Luca Abel for setting him off against pretty, young Deirdre. Nothing was the same for me after they took her away.
Are you ready for this?
I've broken into palaces before. They're made to keep out armies. Stopping one man with hatred in his heart is another story altogether.
Killing off Duke Abel is only part of the puzzle. You've also got to find whatever it is he's keeping for Delilah.
You were cryptic about what you gleaned from visiting the Dust District, which is fine. The world is better with a hint of mystery. But once you're inside the Grand Palace, whatever you do could affect things in Karnaca for years to come. Remember that.
Everyone who crosses my path on the way to Duke Abel is going to regret it. They all deserve to bleed.
I hope I've been of some help to you. It's good to feel useful, here near the end of my time. Look at you. You've aged better than most, Royal Protector. I hear the Duke's wine cellar is exquisite, if you happen to pass through. I remember when you took me from Caldwin's Bridge so long ago.
Ready to visit the Duke?
Let's go.
At the palace, the Duke has a look-alike body double, meant to confuse assassins. A friend of mine washes the linens and said the double is a smoker, if that helps. Maybe you can talk to him. She says he's a nice guy. What a shitty job, pretending to be a tyrant like Duke Luca Abel.
Why don't they just overthrow him?
He's got an army, control of the mines, and he's had your support from the capital. At the Duke's parties, people carve up the country while eating boiled crab.
There were parties like that in Dunwall. Toadies sucking up to Emily made me want to be back on the streets in Zirconos.
You're forgetting what that's like. I watched those party lights from the roof of the abandoned butcher shop where I slept. In the flooded district.
I know you struggled. After years of court, I'm a nobody again. But what I've seen here will stay with me when I return to Dunwall Tower. Being in Karnaca again has given me perspective.
Good. After you've eliminated the Duke, find what he's holding for Delilah and take it. When you're finished, I'll pick you up in the skiff.
You're back at the heart of your homeland. A bigger, better palace than the one you sailed away from so long ago. Feeling nostalgic? Will you ever be comfortable in Dunwall again? Assuming you make it back? You've seen the suffering here, the decay, but, dear Corvo, would you even have lifted a finger if the Duke hadn't put Emily in harm's way? Be honest now. In any case, I know what you're after. The heart you carry can only hold one spirit at a time. So, if you want to walk out with a piece of Delilah, you better be ready to leave something behind.
Never-ending paperwork. What's the point of being my father's son if I have to slave away like this? Hard times. Hard times. Gotta be on the lookout. Huh. Who's that? Sometimes a man. I don't think Guy is lying. Wait for my orders! Keep your distance, he's dangerous! You won't get away!
Your father would be so ashamed of you, Luca.
When I first met with my inner circle, I saw nervous faces. Even the boldest were afraid, wondering if we'd live to see another feast. Now Serkonis is ascendant, but this is a story that began long years before. I knew Delilah when I was only a boy, and even after she was lost, dead, and gone from the world, her memory burned in my mind. Until finally I began to hear her whispering, calling to me from the void. Telling her story of growing up in Dunwall Tower and the half-sister who cheated her of her throne. Then she told me there was a way to bring her home. Delilah. Beautiful. Immortal.
People of Karnaca, this is Corvo Atano, Royal Protector for your rightful ruler, Empress Emily Drexel Leela Caldwin. I came here to Karnaca, the city of my birth, with one purpose in mind: to depose the Duke of Serkonos, to make him pay for his treason against the Empress, but also for his crimes against you. I am Serkonan, and your blood flows through my veins. I will leave you now and return to Dunwall, but know this: Duke Luca Abel is dead. My hope is to restore the true Empress to her throne and aid her in establishing a new ruler here in Serkonos with haste, causing as little disruption as is possible. I'll bid you farewell and ask that you hold on just a bit longer. I hope to resolve this crisis soon.
You there.
Your soft life is over, decoy.
This is it. Release me from this dead vessel, free of this poisoned world, and trap Delilah's spirit.
I won't let you go. I'll find another way.
No, I don't want to see any more of what this world has become. It has changed you.
I've done what I had to do, to preserve the Empire and to keep Emily safe.
We had such dreams, but I no longer care what you do. Save my daughter, and release me into nothing.
Then it's done. Now it's time to return to Marlis.
The heart of my half-sister? Only her flesh remains.
Maybe Maybe Delilah's spirit was holding it together.
So, is that it? The fall of Karnaca?
The Duke is dead. Long live whatever happens next.
Back to the dreadful whale, then, and on toward Dunwall.
It looks that way. To find a way to help Emily, and to give her back the throne.
Ready, then?
I'm ready if you are.
All right. As you want.
This is how the worst day of my life began. A masked man closing in on Dunwall Tower, planning a murder. Dowd and the Lord Regent killed Jessamine, but it broke them. Now it's happening again. Another Empress dies, another story ends. What will it do to me? Delilah won't go without a fight. She outfoxed me and I never saw it coming. But I was Corvo before I was the Royal Protector. Before I owned a sword, I fought with sticks and broken glass, whatever came to hand. I don't know what grand scheme you've got underway, Delilah, but I'm coming to put you in your grave.
Was it really necessary? Remarkable what Delilah's accomplished, coming from such a background, taking the throne. Now that we're here, I suppose you know where to go and what to do. You've killed a legion, so what's one more?
One more? Or 1,000 more. Delilah deserves what she's about to get.
At my age, I've come to distrust words like deserve. As I've told you, I knew her long ago. Badly wounded, deep at her center, but cunning, and looking for a way to pull herself up. Perhaps more than anything, Delilah had a talent for imagining the world as a better place. If only that could have been channeled towards something less twisted.
Too late for regrets.
Everyone feels some regret, atop a long line. Mine is now chiefly that I'm out of time. Take care of yourself.
Goodbye, Anton.
Megan is waiting for you on the deck outside. She seemed cagey earlier, even more than usual. I suppose you did the best you could. Or I'll let myself believe that, at least. Good luck with Delilah. I fear for the Empire if you fail. Remember, the people of the city might have endured a great deal since you were driven from Dunwall. desperate times. I've got maybe one more chapter left in my own tale. Hopefully a chapter set next to a roaring fire in Tivia. Toppling the Duke must give you a sense of peace. Maybe a better day will be born of it. It would be interesting to study why the bloodflies have never taken hold here. Time. If I only had more time. Goodbye, Corvo. I suspect I'll not see you again.
I'm still aboard this creaking thing that Megan calls a boat. Anton Sokolov, once the designer of mighty ships, thrown against the malevolent ocean and large enough to heave the great leviathans aboard, thrashing and spilling their life's blood across the decks. Majestic ships, swift with luxurious cabins, fit for an empress. Where are those vessels now? They're far too important to carry an old man like me. I've been abandoned by my own creations. But maybe that's the way it should be. Haven't I been cruel, selfish? Perhaps I should be forgotten, consigned to the junk heap. Maybe I should die at last. And there's a chance I will on this final escapade. To Dunwall, then. We'll see what's left of me.
Even like this, it's good to be back in Dunwall, where I met Jessamine, where Emily was born. I haven't come this far to fail now, Delilah. It's time to face the music. Megan, I'm taking the skiff. I want to go to Dunwall Tower alone.
All right. Do you know how you're going to kill Delilah? If you leave her alive, she'll come for you sooner or later.
I'll do whatever it takes to end her and get Emily back.
Just make sure you don't hesitate. Delilah's dangerous.
You don't have to worry about that.
Delilah's a mad dog. She tore out a piece of her soul to get her way. What else do you need to hear? Want some advice? Don't get your throat cut. Remember, even if you pull off whatever trick you're planning for Delilah, she won't be easy to beat. I'm glad Sokolov was awake to say goodbye. How is it the old man cured the plague all those years ago, but can't eat without getting food on his shirt? In my time here, the Dunwall City Watch was just a bunch of drunkards and layabouts. No wonder half of them turned on you. Goodbye, Corvo.
Take me to Dunwall Tower. Bring me back to the cage in my own chest.
Oh, I will. Delilah will be made mortal again.
You let Emily's mother slip into oblivion. Do you know where my mother's resting? In a child's coffin, her skinny legs tucked beneath her, because I couldn't afford proper burial. While my father rests in the Imperial crypt.
You're lying.
You still can't accept it. You were sent to Dunwall as a gift, like a box of candies, because that's all you were worth. I had your mother's heart, and my body sleeps in your bastard daughter's bed.
If I learned anything in Karnaca, it's that you only deserve to keep your throne if you're ready to roll out a red carpet of blood before it. We'll be face to face soon, and I'll end you, Delilah.
Who are you? Wait. Lord Corvo. Can it be?
I went back home to Serkonos to strike against those supporting Delilah, the architects of the coup against Emily.
And were you successful? Things are a mess here.
I know how to beat Delilah now. I'm going to topple her and find a way to help my daughter retake her throne.
It's the best news I've heard in a long while. You'll have my support. Whatever you need, just ask.
Once it's safe, just tell the public what happened. If I come out on top, I'll invite you to Dunwall Tower to conduct an interview.
Good luck at Dunwall Tower. The people of the district have fled. Everyone's afraid of Delilah and her followers. Whatever comes next will be written down in the history of the Empire, assuming we've still got an Empire come tomorrow.
Welcome home, Lord Protector. Delilah's waiting for you. She's been sleeping badly for the last couple of weeks, because that piece of her you're carrying around has been calling out, begging her to take it back. She feels the same craving, but she'll fight to the death to stop you from putting her spirit back where it belongs. You were careful in Karnaca. Let's see how that serves you in the tower, where you and Jessamine fell in love. Delilah's got the throne and your daughter. But now she's got a secret as well.
Look at all this. It tells a story, but there's more. I saw the High Overseer fall. All is lost. Leave this place.
The Abbey assaulted the tower.
Somehow we were overcome. Not just Delilah's sorcerers and their gravehounds, but mechanical men. Automated soldiers. The ancient music was useless against them.
Rest now. But know that I'm going to end Delilah's reign. I swear it.
At death's door, I smell the corruption of the void upon you. A heretic against a heretic. Laughable. The world is doomed.
Delilah's hatred for Jessamine is endless.
I see it in the mist. Face when I told her she was going to die soon.
It shouldn't be. No one's been coming up the Renhaven of late.
Never mind then. Maybe it's a drift.
All dried out. That makes it easier to collect. Less messy. You can still smell it.
How much of the algae does our Lady Delilah want? And what's it for? Tell me. I won't let the secret slip.
She just needs a bit. And if you promise to keep your tongue in your head, I'll tell you. It's part of her new undertaking. A painting to end all paintings, she says. Some great new magics she's concocting.
After taking Dunwall Tower itself, what more could our mistress want?
Delilah wants the whole world's love. The seas around it and the stars above it. Princess Delilah's up on the throne. But a few days ago, she was spending all her time in that bleak little overseer chapel. What's afoot? What's she working on?
She probably found it funny, using the chapel as a studio, mixing pigments where those fools used to preach their nonsense. But she moved to the throne room when she was ready to start her new painting.
Always exciting when she starts to sculpt or paint.
Yes, but this one is special. Delilah says it's going to change everything, the world and all the spheres beyond. Go sneak a peek of it, if you dare.
So here we are, where my dear, lying half-sister Jessamine and I played as children. Where she first opened her bedchambers to you, then gave birth to your daughter. Where you let Dowd murder sweet Jessamine. The place that ruined both our lives.
You have a twisted view of the world, and I have no idea whether you're telling the truth or not. But it doesn't matter.
Yes, ma'am.
You two street tramps wouldn't know proper etiquette if it bit you in the ass.
Such fun.
Witness plays. Check central rotor.
If I faint, one of you could be kind and catch me before I bang my head on the polished boards of this well-crafted floor.
Hannah, what is etiquette really? Another form of control, just a choke chain around our pretty necks.
No, there's where your ignorance shows. Etiquette is a weapon, a source of power for those who know how to wield it.
No wonder.
It worked. I painted the chapel, but added a tree to the painting. After arranging the runes across the chair, both pure and corrupted, I was able to transpose the chapel made of paint with the one made of stone. With more runes, I should be able to do the same to all the Empire. This will be my greatest undertaking, transposing my painting. The world as it should be, with this wretched dung heap we're all born into. At last, all will be made proper and good.
Delilah's new painting sounds dangerous, but I might be able to sabotage it. With more corrupt runes, maybe I could turn Delilah's painting against her.
We are part of a very small group. Almost the last of Jessamine's circle. And we've both been marked by the black-eyed bastard. What do you think? Do you ever get cold at night, Lord Protector?
I know what it means to give up all hope of gaining justice cleanly. You pass a point, and then you take what you need. But you shouldn't have taken from me, Delilah.
You will take me back and die at my hands. Closer, closer. You must get near her. You're too far away. It hurts to be so near. Take me closer. Take me there. Take me home. This separation must end. You're off the mark. Point me at her. She feeds on the cracks in the world. This hollow shell with my face. This is a great wrongness. I must be one with the flesh.
Show me. Show me.
Oh, Delilah. No one loves you as I do.
What has Delilah done to the throne?
I've waited for this moment here in my tower. So now I will complete my great painting. I will make the world as it should be. And there's no place in it for you. Long live Delilah Caldwin, first of her reign. Follow me, dear Corvo, and see how I will reshape all things.
All the world with this.
You don't change, Corvo. Always running. No! It's not fair!
Now wander the void for eternity, Delilah.
facing a powerful supernatural enemy, the Empress and her royal protector saw a ferocious ally in the Abbey of the Everyman, who at long last began to enforce unrestrained righteousness across Serkonos. In Dunwall, with the death of Delilah Copperspoon, her coven lost its power and was smashed, their disastrous coup brought to an end. And thus, a new emperor arose in the capital, as Corvo the Black seized the empire and hunted down his enemies, with his precious daughter safe behind his throne for all time. In his day, Anton Sokolov lit the fires of industry, starting a great consuming blaze at the heart of the empire. He saw his machines used for war and oppression, watching the powerful crush those beneath them. Leaving Dunwall for the last time, he turned to the cold north, his energy spent at last, only an echo of the man he'd aspired to be. There are things that never change, no matter how hard you try. Questions you must answer. As Megan Foster faded from the world, Billy Lurk stepped from her shadow, setting out to discover her truest self, and seeking the closest thing she'd ever known to family.
Father, what happened?
Take it easy. I'll explain everything.
After facing a powerful supernatural enemy, the Empress and her royal protector saw a ferocious ally in the Abbey of the Everyman, who at long last began to enforce unrestrained righteousness across Serkonos. In Dunwall, with the death of Delilah Copperspoon, her coven lost its power and was smashed, their disastrous coup brought to an end. The rightful Empress once again seized her throne, and so it was that Emily the Vengeful rooted out the last of those who had betrayed her and ruled over her empire with her legendary father, Corvo Attano, standing by her side. In his day, Anton Sokolov lit the fires of industry, starting a great consuming blaze at the heart of the empire. He saw his machines used for war and oppression, watching the powerful crush those beneath them. Leaving Dunwall for the last time, he turned to the cold north, his energy spent at last, only an echo of the man he'd aspired to be. There are things that never change, no matter how hard you try. Questions you must answer. As Megan Foster faded from the world, Billy Lurk stepped from her shadow, setting out to discover her truest self, and seeking the closest thing she'd ever known to family.